Hey guys, hi, welcome back to my channel Net Physics. And if you're watching this video for the very first time, then I would request you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also do not forget to hit the bell icon. And in this video we shall discuss the questions of nuclear and particle physics as the previous videos related to nuclear and particle physics. But here the questions will be not from the CSIR NET examinations, but this time we will be discussing the GATE questions. Okay, so the first one will be of GATE 2010, and simultaneously in this video I shall discuss 3 to 5 papers. So let's start with the first question. So the first question is the process the basic process underlying the neutron beta decay is, or we can say the process of getting neutrinos from beta decay. Okay, this is what we are asked here. So here we are having 4 processes and we have to choose one which is the basic neutron beta decay process. So for this, let's come to the basic process. Okay, what happens is a neutron, it is decaying into a proton, an electron and a electron and a neutrino. And now this neutron, it is consisting of what? 1 up quark and 2 down quarks, and the proton is having 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. This is the quark structure of neutron and proton. So if you see here, taking the quark structure, you will remember that here in the left hand side you will have only D, and in the right hand side for proton you will have only U, and these terms will be as it is, right? So this is option A. So this is the basic process which is underlying the neutron beta decays. So the correct option is option A. Now let's come to the next question. So here we have in the nuclear shell model the spin parity of this nucleus. It is given by what? We are asked to find the spin parity of this nucleus, okay, in the nuclear shell model, and we are having 4 options here. So for this, first we will check the number of protons and neutrons, which is the first step to get the spin parity using the nuclear shell model. So here what we will see, this is 7. Okay, the number of proton is 7 and the number of neutron is what? 15 minus 7 is 8. So the number of neutron is 8, which is even. So we will ignore this, and the number of proton is 7, which is odd, and we will write the energy levels according to the shell model only for the odd number of protons. So for Z equals to 7, we can write the energy levels as such. So here what we will see, J is equals to half. For the last term, what is J? J is equals to half, and L is equals to how much? L is 1, because for P, L is equals to what? P shell, the L is equals to 1. So parity is minus 1 to the power L. So it is minus 1 to the power 1, which is a minus 1. So the parity is negative here. And the spin is what? Half. Okay, so finally the spin parity is what? 1 by 2 negative. So the correct option is option A. Now let's come to the next question. So the third question is, we have to match the reactions on the left with the associated interactions on the right. Okay, so here we are having 3 reactions on the left side and we are given 3 interactions in the right side, and we have to match this. So I will not go for the conservation laws. For this I will just go for a simple trick which I would like to say, because the questions of GATE, whenever you are solving questions of GATE, you have to just remember that there are a very basic tips, okay, or the basic knowledge that we need to have to solve the questions easier way. Okay, so for this you will see in the first reaction. Okay, here you can see this is a muon neutrino, right? So whenever neutrinos are involved, it will be a weak interaction, right? So the first one is weak. The second one is what? Here gamma is involved. So whenever gamma is involved, you have to keep in mind that the interaction will be electromagnetic. And the third one is obviously strong, because one is weak, the other one is electromagnetic. So the third one will be strong. So the correct option is here, the first one is what? The first one is weak, that is 1 is 3. Okay, 2 is what? It is electromagnetic. This is 2 is 2 and 3 is what? 1. So the correct option is option A, right? So this is very simple. Without going into the conservation laws, you can check in like few seconds. So now let's come to the next question. The next question is, the ground state wave function of a deuteron is in a superposition of S and D states. So which of the following is not true as a consequence? So out of the 4, we have to get the statement which is not true as a consequence. when the ground state wave function of deuterium, it is in a superposition of S and J state. So the first one is it has a non-zero quadrupole moment, which is true. The true neutron proton potential is non-central, which is also true. The orbital wave function is not spherically symmetric. This is also true. And the Hamiltonian does not conserve the total angular momentum, which is a false statement because the Hamiltonian conserve the total angular momentum in this particular case. So here I have not gone into the detail of the deuterium, okay, because for that I will make a separate video, because including in this would make the video more lengthy. So now let's come to the next question. The next question is the first three energy levels of this nucleus are shown below. So this is a nucleus given. The first three energy levels are shown here. The expected spin parity and energy of the next level are given by. So we have to find the expected spin parity and energy level of the next one. Okay, we have to find the expected spin parity and energy of the next level. First three levels are given here. The energy is also given here. So here you can see the first one is what? Spin parity is 0 positive, then 2 positive, then 4 positive. So you can see the next level will be obviously 6 positive, right? So if you check the options, only this first two options are having what? 6 positive. So these two options are what? Wrong. So we will focus on these two options. So here, first of all, in spectroscopy, the formula for energy is equals to what? L square by 2I, which can be written for J is J square by 2I. And J or A, L, you can write it is equals to what? H slash root over L into with L plus 1. So here if this you will write for J, you will have E is equals to what? J into J plus 1, H cut square by 2I. So now we will do E2 by E1, because we are asked to find the spin parity we got. Okay, it is 6 positive. Now we will find only the energy. So for the energy we will do what? E1 by E2. So here we will take the ratio of one level with the other. So here you have to keep in mind, here E2 it is what? E6, the next level, and E1 is this 4 positive spin parity energy level. Okay, so we will write here E4 by E6, sorry, E6 by E4, right? So if you see J2 4, E4 is what? Sorry, for E6, what will be J2? Okay, so the value of J, the spin is 6 into with 6 plus 1, and for E4 the spin is what? 4 into with 4 plus 1, right? So in the right hand side you will have 6 into with 7, which is 42, 4 into with 5, which is 20. Now E6 is equals to 42 by 20 into with E4. The energy is 187 kilo electron volt. Okay, so this is for this particular level, right? Now on solving this particular terms, you will get the energy of the next level is 392.7, okay, which is approximately equals to 400, you can say. So the correct option is option A. The question is not that tough, you have to just analyze the correct way. So that's it in this question. Now let's move to the next question. Now let's discuss the questions of GATE 2011. So the first question is, the semi-empirical mass formula for the binding energy of nucleus contains a surface correction term. This term depends on the mass number A of the nucleus S. So we know that the semi-empirical mass formula for the binding energy, which can be written as this. Okay, I have written the binding energy formula here. So it is asked here that this binding energy formula, okay, the semi-empirical mass formula of for the binding energy, it is containing a surface correction term, right? So you can see the second term is the surface correction term here. So here we have to say that for this particular term, okay, this term is depending on the mass number, right, A of the nucleus. So what is its proportionality, we can say, means how it is depending on the mass number, that we have to say. So here you can see it is A to the power 2 by 3. So the correct option is what? The correct option is option C. So the question is very simple. You have to just say the dependence on the mass number of this nucleus, okay, of the surface correction term, okay, you have to just say that. So now let's come to the next question. So here it is said, in the beta decay of neutron, okay, the anti-neutrino is escaping detection. So its existence is inferred from the measurement of what? So here we are having four options. The first is energy distribution of electrons, second is angular distribution of electrons, Third is helicity distribution of electrons. Fourth is forward backwards symmetry of electrons. So firstly I would like to say this neutrino na, it is emitted to conserve what? To conserve the linear momentum, angular momentum and the lepton number. Okay, and this will also explain the energy distribution of this emitted positron, right? So here I would like to make you clear that the existence of this neutrino, okay, it is inferred from the measurement of the energy distribution of electrons. Just because of the energy distribution of electrons, its existence is inferred. Okay, all other three options are wrong, and it is very clear. You don't have to think so much about it. You can just see here, right? So now let's come to the next question. Next we have the isospin and the strangeness of omega negative baryon R. We have to find the isospin and the strangeness of omega negative baryon. So for this what we will see that its multiplicity is 1, right? So we have the formula to find the isospin, that is 2i plus 1 is equals to m. M is the multiplicity, which is 1 here. So you can directly get 2i e plus 1 is plus 1 is equals to 1, which will give you the isospin is equals to what? 0. Now omega negative, it is made up of 3 strange quarks. So the strangeness will be minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So which will give you minus 3. So the correct option is option B. The isospin is 0 and the strangeness is minus 3. So this is very simple. Now let's come to the next question. The next question is from GATE 2012, and the first question is the quark content of sigma positive, carbon negative, pi n negative and proton is indicated by this one. These are the quark contents of this 4 particles, right? Sigma positive, carbon negative, pi negative and proton. In the process, in this particular process, considering strong interaction only, we have to say which of the following statement is correct. So here we have one reaction when the quark contents of sigma positive, carbon negative, pi negative and proton is given, right? These are the quark content, and considering strong interaction, we have to see which statement is correct out of this 4. The first one is the process is allowed because del S is equals to 0. The second is the process is allowed because del I3 is equals to 0. And the third is the process is not allowed because del S is not equals to 0 and del I3 is not equals to 0. And the fourth one is the process is not allowed because the baryon number is violated. So for this we will see this is the reaction. So first of all we will check the third component, right, I3. So for pi negative it's minus 1, for proton it's half, in the right hand side further it's minus half, further it's plus 1. So you can see here it's minus half this side, it's plus half in the right hand side, so it is not conserved, right? Del I3 it is not conserved, okay, but it is said here del I3 is what? Conserved, means it is equal to 0. So the second option is wrong. Now we will see the strangeness, delta S, right? So it is 0 for both this terms, okay, for this also it's 0, for this also it's 0. For carbon negative it's minus 1, for sigma positive it's minus 1. So you can see the delta S is also not conserved, right? So here the first option is also wrong because it is said the process is allowed because of delta S. Now we will see, and it is said we have to consider the strong interaction, considering the strong interaction. So this is the reason we are checking this. Now we will see the baryon number, right? So the baryon number here it's 0, proton is a baryon, so it's 1, here it's 0, here also it's 1. So you can see what the baryon number is what? Conserved, right? Delta S is not equals to 0 and the delta I3 is also not equals to 0, right? That means it is not conserved. The baryon number is conserved. So you will see here the first two options were wrong. The last one is that the process is not allowed because the baryon number is not conserved, not violated. Okay, the baryon number is violated. Conservation of baryon number is violated. But here you can see the baryon number conservation, it is not violated. Okay, the baryon number is what? conserved. So the fourth option is also wrong. The correct option is this process is allowed because delta S is also not conserved and delta I3 means these are not equals to 0. Okay. So the correct option is option C. Now let's come to the next question. So the question is, which of the following sets corresponds to fundamental particles? So here we are having 4 options, and all the 4 options, each option is having 3 particles, and we have to find out which of the following set corresponds to fundamental particles. So for this, first we need to know what are fundamental particles. Fundamental particles are those particles which is having no internal structure. Okay, the particles which has no internal structure, they are fundamental particles. Hadrons has internal structure because they are made up of what? Quarks. Leptons and photons, they are having no internal structure. Right, hadrons are made up of quarks, and leptons and photons, they are not made up of quarks. Okay, so here if you see, the third option is the correct option, electron, photon and neutrino. Why? Now let's come to this. Electron, positron, muons and neutrons, these are the examples of what? Leptons. And we have seen here that leptons are what? Having no internal structure. So electron, neutrino, these are coming in the category of leptons. Now we will see about electrons. Okay, so what are hadrons? In hadrons, so what are the examples of hadrons we will see? Okay, so in case of hadrons, we can see baryons are fermionic hadrons. Okay, we can say baryons are what? Baryons, mesons, these are the examples of hadrons. Okay, and any particle which is containing quark, they will experience strong nuclear force and they will be hadron. So how you will know what are hadrons? Any particle which is containing quark and they are having strong nuclear force, then we will say these are hadrons. So here we can say proton. Proton is a hadron, right? But electron is a hadron or not? We have to see. So here I would like to say that electron is not a. The next question is, in the case of Gigner-Muller counter, which of the following statement is correct? So we have 4 options here. The first option is multiplication factor of the detector is of the order of 10 to the power 10. The second one is the type of the particles detected can be identified. The third one is energy of the particles detected can be distinguished. And the fourth one is operating voltage of the detector is few tens of volts. So we are having 4 options and we have to choose one option for the Gigner-Muller counter. Okay, so first of all, I think so we all know what is a Gigner-Muller counter, right? So I think I can just give a slight introduction what a Gigner-Muller counter it is, right? So it is an instrument which is used to measure ionizing radiation. Okay, and it is detecting radiation of ionizing radiation of such as particles. You can say alpha particles, beta particles, gamma particles. Okay, now and one more thing I would like to say here, that it is one of the world's best known radiation detection instrument. So now we will see which statement is correct. So first of all, multiplication factor of the detector is of the order 10 to the power 10, which is not correct. Okay, it is of the order of 10 to the power 6 to 10 to the power 8. So the first option is not correct. Now let's see the second option. The type of the particles detected can be identified. This is the second option. So here we have to choose the correct statement from the following. We have 4 statements and we have to choose one correct statement. The first one is neutron interacts through electromagnetic interaction. So this is a false statement because neutron is interacting through all the 4 fundamental interactions electromagnetic, weak, strong, and gravitational. The second is electron does not interact through weak interaction. So this is not a correct statement because electron does interact with weak interaction. You can see in the beta minus decay process. Okay, there it is a weak interaction and their electron do interacts through weak interaction. Next is neutrino interacts through weak and electromagnetic interaction. No, neutrino are interacting only via weak interaction because the quarks they are interacting through strong, okay, but not through weak. Okay, quarks are interacting through strong but not weak. The fourth one is the correct option. So here one thing I would like to say here for the case of neutrinos. Okay, in case of neutrino they are massless and they are not having any electric charge like other particles. This is the reason that neutrinos are interacting only through weak nuclear force, and in case of quarks they are interacting through strong nuclear force. In case of leptons are interacting through electromagnetic weak, or we can say weak nuclear force. Electromagnetic also, weak also. So you have to keep in mind neutrons are interacting through all the four interactions. Electrons they interact with weak interaction. This is there that electrons are not interacting, so it is a wrong statement. Neutron interacts only through weak interaction, and quarks they are interacting through strong interaction but not through weak. So this is very simple. So the correct option is option D. So with this I would conclude this video, and the rest questions of gate of nuclear and particles phases I shall discuss in the part 2. And if you like my video, please subscribe and share. Do like and comment, and if you have any questions or queries then you can comment me in the comment section. Thank you so much. Have a good day.